Hello, I'm Shiloh, and today I would like to share with you a chapter from my first novel, Tales from the Deck trilogy, The Magician, Green Waters. You know now, Michael, that I have worked with the tarot since I was a child. I cannot imagine my life without it. It is an extension of my being. The cards hold, catch, and translate the vibrations and the energies from within the seeker. This magnificent system has given me guidance, hope, and strength throughout my life. I make no pretense to completely understand the depth of this powerful tool because, to this day, I am still discovering the unconventional manner by which it conveys its messages. I can only share with you how I see it, feel it, and use it to better my life and those who have sought me out. I have been accused at times, usually by religious zealots, of doing the work of the devil. I can understand that. Some decks are specifically crafted to invoke dark forces. Those cards hold a strong vibration and can be very, very unfriendly. That's because they are powerful tools meant only for those who are trained to handle them. Those who fully understand their potentially destructive energies and the consequences they'll bring along. Sometimes hopelessness requires a strong intervention. Sometimes only a strong disruption can derail a malevolent or self-destructive force that is causing someone's life to spiral out of control. Jeanne would often say, "Shiloh, the energy of black magic are strong, unruly, and untamed. They strive on chaos, hate, confusion, and fear. They barge into your life, wreaking havoc and turning everything around you upside down. Sometimes they are necessary, but it should always be the last resort." With a serious tone, raising her hands to the sky, she added, "When it's the only thing left, understand and be prepared for the aftermath." Anything, however, can be used for dark purposes. It's always a matter of intent. The tarot holds that kind of power too, but there is a heavy price to pay when it is used in this manner, a price most neophytes do not fully grasp at the onset. In a solemn and uncharacteristically stern tone, Jeanne warned me, "Always pay respect and ask for protection. Call the patrons for your protection." She placed her hands on her chest. "Be clear with your intention and never use it to hurt anyone or manipulate a situation to your advantage. But if you do, be prepared for the consequences of dealing with those ravening energies of chaos and destruction. The choice is always yours. There are always two paths available when working with the cards, so choose wisely, Shiloh." Going forward from the time I met her, Jeanne only worked with the gentler aspect of the tarot on the side of the light. However, there is no doubt in my mind that she had once been a very powerful black priestess. She often proclaimed that she had abandoned her bad ways long ago. I never asked what she meant exactly, and she never told me. As I became more courageous and knowledgeable, I would pepper her with a million questions, mostly about death and what lies beyond. Where exactly in the universe is my mom now? Did she go to heaven? And where is it? Could I talk to her someday? Is God real? And the recurring big one, why do we have to die if we're going to come back? I held in my heart a constant burning desire to understand, to know everything, to learn all her secrets. No one else in my family seemed to be aware of anything magical surrounding me. I wasn't satisfied with their religious bromides and half-truths about life and death. Jeanne was able to give my life a much deeper meaning. Her teachings, her wisdom, soothed my inquisitive mind, and I always felt serene listening to her words of wisdom. One day, Jeanne decided that it was time for my real training to begin. After great care and intense preparation, I was ready. I was scared and happy at the same time, two conflicting emotions that seemed strangely normal to me. I was ready to embark with her on this new adventure. I was now her initiate. It was understood that from then on I would assist in and later take over the preparation of the oils and candles. Jeanne waited patiently for the appropriate lunation to prepare her remedies. I was able to recognize and gather the flowers, leaves, powders, plants and roots that she needed for her potions. I studied the medicinal power of plants, practiced the tarot daily, and read constantly. But from time to time, I was troubled by doubt. "What if I can't see as you do, Jeanne?" I asked, worried. "Will you tell me if I actually possess the special powers you have? Will you tell me what to do?" She held my little face in her hands and stared into my eyes. "There is a secret to all of this, a big, great secret, Shiloh," she whispered, smiling. "What is the secret? What is it? I want to know. Please, Jeanne, please." "Well, you see, each one of us has magical powers. Every soul is born with all the abilities I have, that you have. But only a few among us know these powers are available to them. Some people diminish their abilities by succumbing to insecurities and fear, lack of judgment, or greed. Some are too busy coercing and manipulating their immediate surroundings and the people in it. That's an exhausting way of life, Shiloh. Some simply insist on a purely logical, materialistic view of the world. It's our choice, our free will. We create exactly what we want. But, Shiloh, understand that it is your personal responsibility to be clear about what it is you really want. The only requirement in order to tap into these amazing powers, all someone really needs, is a loving desire. The desire, the burning desire, to connect with their heart and the discipline to focus. Then, magically, the perfect teacher, tool, or technique will appear in their life. Just like you, Shiloh. You came into my life and loved me without judgment or fear. You see, there are no coincidences in life. Pay attention to the way something or someone makes you feel. You'll know in your heart, you'll always know. Unfortunately, most often, it's logic that gets in the way. She laughed at me kindly. I didn't understand everything she said that day, but it didn't really matter at the moment. All I knew was that we shared a secret, our secret. And from that day on, empowered by my new responsibilities, I made my very best effort to become organized, diligent, and very disciplined. For the first time in my short life, I was invigorated. I had found a deeply meaningful purpose, and I had Jeanne and the magic of the whole universe by my side. One morning, school was cancelled due to an overnight snowfall in the French Alps. I walked with some difficulty through the silent snowbound forest to Jeanne's house. I was elated to be secretly heading to my other school. I knocked and opened her door. Puce, her little black terrier that I love so much, greeted me at the threshold. Jeanne, wearing a long blue dress, was sipping a strong dark brew of herbs. "I guess the snow is too deep for the school bus today," she said, gazing out at the frozen wonderland around us. From the edge of the meadow, the tall pines stood petrified under their icy covering. Their frozen, ghostly silhouettes looked like giant sentinels standing guard around the garden. We should feed the birds before anything else. The night was so cold. Poor little ones, they need sustenance too. We filled the feeders outside her balcony with breadcrumbs and Jeanne's special blends of seeds. Then, we poured warm water in the dishes placed around the ledge. Brr, let's get back inside by the stove. I drank my hot chocolate and dipped a homemade blueberry tartine into my cup. As I was finishing my last delicious bite, Jeanne placed a tarot deck on the table in front of me with a contented gesture. "This is for you, Shiloh. It finally came in the mail yesterday." "Really? Really?" I exclaimed. "It's really mine? My own cards? My own deck?" As if with a magical wand, my mentor had confirmed that I was ready to engage personally with the unseen forces of the tarot. Until this day, I hadn't been allowed to touch the cards without her supervision. I held the small card box with both hands. I felt so grateful, so fortunate. Jeanne explained that my tarot lessons would start immediately. Earlier in meditation, she had asked for and received the approval of her guides, the patrons. "Who are the patrons?" I asked. Smiling tenderly, she replied as she looked up. "They are the ones, the luminous ones, one energy, our protectors. It's difficult to look straight at them because they are so bright, but I feel them when they join us. Can you smell them? They smell like the woods in the spring, like fields of lilies of the valley. You know, the little bouquets that we gather in the forest on the first day of May. Very soon, you'll see them too and smell them. They are divine. You'll see." We entered her tarot parlor, her special room. Silently and methodically, Jeanne gathered a bundle of dry sage and a large bowl of water from her altar. Placing them in front of 2 white softly glowing pillar candles, she dropped 3 drops of mercury in the water and opened her grimoire. Let's see," she said, turning towards me and searching the room. "We need a blanket and a pillow. Go and grab them from the living room." I returned to the parlor, struggling to manage the heavy handmade quilt and matching pillow. "Are you ready for your first lesson? For your first voyage? You're going to meet the magician today." "Yes, yes I am," I cried out, beaming with excitement. "Where am I going? Are you coming with me?" "Shiloh," she whispered, as though about to reveal a big secret. "You recall that the magician is the first card of the major arcana. Each one of these 22 cards exemplifies a specific attribute of source and the range of its expressions in our reality. Here in Malkuth, Earth, we, the whole human race, has been given the major arcana to help us navigate the duality of life situations. This tool helps us understand and anchor the divine emanations of source. We are expected to use this force for our benefit. The magician is you, your eternal and luminous soul, and bounded by laws or rules, pure and fresh. A soul filled only with joy and delight. He is the burning desire inside of you to learn, to evolve, to create, but mostly to love. He will show you just how to do that. Listen to him attentively on your journey. Keep your eyes wide open and try to remember every single detail that he'll share with you. I'll be right here next to you. Have no fear. All is perfect in this place. All is well. This is your destiny." A gray cover of clouds had enveloped the forest and the small trailer. The softly falling snow had gently rocked the animals of the forest into a deep slumber. All was calm. My mind was fresh, and so, with no other preparation, my first lesson began. Jeanne had placed the soft quilt on the floor for me to lay down upon. After fanning the cards out carefully from my glossy new deck in a perfect semicircle, she selected the magician. Holding the card in front of my eyes, she said, "Remember, the magician is eternal, and so are you. He comes to remind you of your true powers and your magnificence. You are ready. The time has come for you to remember who you really are." I examined the card she was holding in front of my face, paying special attention to the colors and the details on the scene. Jeanne then placed the card flat on my chest, close to my heart. "Shiloh, Feel the energy of the magician. Look into his eyes when he appears. Gently let yourself go. Breathe in and out as slowly as you possibly can. I closed my eyes and studied the breathing pattern I knew so well. It was a technique I had practiced many times before. Jeanne knelt next to me for what seemed an unusually long time. It was awkward at first, but she had my trust. I was both excited and curious. This was all so exciting for a little girl. What was going to happen next, I wondered. As I calmed my racing thoughts and slowed down my breathing, I felt a warm, intelligent substance enveloping me. Even though my eyes were closed, I could clearly see green, dark waters swirling around me. The strange fluid felt thicker than water, and embedded within it, a multitude of tiny lights pulsed at random speeds and in different directions. Fully immersed, suspended in this living network, my body, mind, and spirit fused and melded completely into the luminescent living matrix. A little scared to open my mouth and breathe in the green waters, I must have tensed up, for Jeanne leaned in softly to reassure me. My fear of letting the water enter my lungs gradually subsided. Surrendering all fears and letting myself go completely, the enveloping warmth grew stronger and embraced me more fully. My body was bathing in the softest of textures. The tiny lights were pulsing with a loving frequency that made me smile. My fears were gone, and I opened my mouth. It was as easy as breathing air. I became part of this web when the green water passed through every part of me. I was moving within this intelligent, loving substance. Hypnotized, I let the dance of a million pulsating lights flash through me. As I was examining my body and my surroundings, a silhouette appeared in the distance. A tall man stood in front of me. Was this the magician? I wondered, hardly able to believe my eyes. You are so much taller and so handsome, much more so than the figure on the card. The man stood smiling, visibly amused by my thoughts. He extended his right hand towards me in a gentle invitation. Like the magician, he wore a deep red cloak, and a pale yellow aura beamed above him. An infinity symbol was shining through a golden nimbus above his head. Strange tattoos covered his neck and hands. His belt looked like a serpent swallowing his tail, and in his right hand, just like on the card, he held a scroll. "Are you ready, Shiloh?" he asked. As I nodded at him and took his hand, the dark green waters opened in front of us. I could see my body on the floor next to Jeanne, and infinitely in every direction. The whole earth and the vast unfolding universe beyond. The colors were alive, vibrant. Everything was oscillating at an almost imperceptible pace. As I wondered where we were going, the magician gently squeezed my hand. "I am taking you to your kingdom, where your tools are waiting for you to claim." Before I could ask about my kingdoms or my tools, our destination magically appeared. I recognized all the details from the card when we arrived in the courtyard of a large castle. The high walls opened to a secluded garden. Giant trees around us were emitting luminescent blue-colored energy waves. They seemed to be communicating with each other. The flowers seemed to be alive as well. The magician smiled and directed me toward a round table placed in the middle of the garden. The symbols of the 4 elements were placed exactly as they were on the card that I had studied earlier. The sword and the rod crossed each other. The pentacle and the cup were between them. The magician took my hand again and placed it on the sword. "Shiloh, it is time to claim the power of the air element. With this knowledge comes great responsibility, but you are ready." I stood tall, calm, and quiet. My mind was empty. I was bathing in the purest joy. "Put your hands on the sword. Feel its diamond blue ray in the same manner you felt the trees earlier. Let its power fill your being and run through your body. Welcome the blue ray in your heart. It is yours now. Immediately, an electrifying wave surged through me. I watched the ray's silver shadow travel at the speed of light under my translucent skin, leaving in their trail a pale blue shimmer. When the ray of light reached the tips of my fingers to return to the blade, an infinity symbol formed above my hands. The sword reminds you that you always have access to its divine energy. Let it be the source of your inspiration you'll receive during this incarnation. It will give you the answers to all your questions in their purest form. This is the energy responsible for the greatest inventions, the most daring human explorations, and the most beautiful works of art. The sword reminds you that you're never separated from Source, especially at your darkest hour. We are here to support you and to love you, Shiloh. As I was listening attentively to his words, the sword I held firmly became brighter and warmer in my hands. The blue light had returned to the blade, and a gentle breeze caressed my face. With great care, I placed the heavy sword back on the table. Enchanted by the experience, I stood silent. I followed the last swirls of electric blue light still skipping along the blade. They had left behind them a million meandrous curves engraved in a meticulously crafted Damascus steel blade. The magician interrupted my observations and with a deep voice continued my lesson. The rod, he said, pointing at the table, is the fire behind your ideas. It is the action, the strength, and the courage to pursue your goals. Remember, Shiloh, knowledge is not power unless you also apply determination and wisdom. The fire of the rod is raw power. You must learn to tame the fire within, but you must dance with the flames to know them. When I looked at the long wooden staff on the table, it started to come to life. Small stems covered with deep green leaves emerged from its dried, old nutty bark. Mesmerized, I watched the frantic dance of the running leaves emerging all over the staff. Hold the rod, Shiloh. Let its fire run through you. Let it surge and swell within your heart space. Open to the memory of your tribe. Let it ignite your heart center. I held the rod in my right hand high above the table. The small leaves continued their run through my fingers up to my elbow. A gentle fire warmed my feet. Slowly, I felt a small flame travel from the base of my spine to the top of my head. I was engulfed in a halo of golden and amber sparks. Serene, I smiled, welcoming the flames. A deep joy ignited at the center of my chest. Emboldened with courage and certainty about our place in the universe, I stood taller and straighter. When you feel defeated, Shiloh, when doubt and agony surround you, when you lose courage and faith, call the power of the rod. Call back your fire. Let it purify you and illuminate your spirit. According to my grandmother, I already had plenty enough of spirit. I smiled. I placed the rod back on the table, crossing the sword. Now, the magician pointed to the large golden coin. The pentacle represents the bounty of the earth. It is here for your pleasure. You can manifest into being anything you wish, but be gentle and wise with its energy. The magician gently placed the large coin in my hands. A ruby-red light pierced through the center of the coin. As I held the pentacle, now glowing in my small hands, I thought of cotton candy, and magically, the taste appeared in my mouth. I licked my lips, enjoying the syrupy nectar, and closed my eyes. Then I thought of a plump and juicy lemon. Suddenly, the sweetness turned acidic and sour. This is amazing, I thought. When the magician laughed out loud, your state is one of pure abundance, Shiloh. Create with the mind of the all, the source of your guidance. Magnetize your desire with the fire that fuels passion. Avoid greed, envy, and jealousy at all cost. There is plenty of bounty for the whole of humanity. Share as much as you possibly can. Love and respect yourself and each being. Remember, you're not beneath nor above anyone. Love and protect the animals and the trees, as these souls, like yours, are eternal. Love your home, your planet, our great Shekinah. I replaced the coin on the table, imagining all I can do with such power, but I promised to myself to always remember his words. Finally, the cup, the water element, the most important part of your journey, self-love. Only by loving yourself deeply, unconditionally, the way Source loves you, will you be able to recognize and experience love. It is only in love that you will find equilibrium and a clear path toward your desires. I looked inside the large golden cup where vast oceans swirled their beautiful emerald waters in a slow rhythmical motion. Everything was so beautiful, so enchanting. I must remember everything. Suddenly, I felt a soft caress on my cheek. I was back with Jeanne. When I opened my eyes, I felt calm, comforted, and loved. A little groggy, I lay on the floor while Jeanne caressed my forehead. You did well for your first outing, Shiloh. Jeanne seemed very pleased. Jeanne, it was incredible. The magician, the talking trees in the castle, all of it, it was magical. Jeanne smiled, calmly nodding. Tomorrow we'll review your experience, but for now you must rest. Then I'll drive you home. Jeanne gently nudged the two sleepy cats out of her way before sitting on a reading chair behind me. In the silence of a sleepy hollow, I slept for hours on the floor next to her. For the next 5 years, I visited all 22 major arcana cards in this manner under Jeanne's supervision. I never talked to anyone about my travels, not even to my grandfather, whom I'm sure would have understood. With each travel, a deeper understanding revealed itself to me about the workings of our universe. After each journey through the green waters, it became more apparent that we human beings are never victims. We have a say about our lives. We are free to choose any path, and at any time we can change its course. There is no judgment. Perhaps the most important lesson I keep in my heart is that we are all guided, protected. As Jeanne always exalted with such joy, we are magnificent beings of light. The Source loves you so much that it is sometimes difficult to understand that much love. Like the love of an old gypsy woman for a lost little girl who needed to find her footing in a strange and mysterious world.